Good morning. It is Monday, June 8th, and today I can set up linear models using per x plus the one-time fee. So we have a little song going back to Algebra 1. This is a very big topic in Algebra 1 to help us with this. So here it is. I'm so talented, aren't I? So whenever you see a per or an each in a word problem, it's per x plus the one-time fee, or each x plus the one-time fee. Per and each pretty much mean the same thing in math. So when we set up our equation, it's going to be per in front of x, and then plus whatever the one-time fee or one-time amount is. So here are your notes. Per or each goes in front of x. The one-time fee or one-time starting amount goes to the end. X represents what the amount you're paying per is for. So if it's per skateboard, then X is the number of skateboards. If it's per year, then X is the number of years. For example, if something costs $5 per hour, X is hours. The slope is your per or each. The y-intercept is your one-time fee or starting amount. And if it's a word problem that ever wants to know when the two things will be the same, then we're setting the two expressions equal to each other. The cost of airing a commercial on television is modeled by the function C of n equals. Based on this model, which statement is true? So I see C of n equals 110n plus 900. And I know when I see a linear equation, it's per x plus the one-time fee. So my 110 is my per, and my 900 is my one-time fee, or one-time amount. So in the context of this problem, we're talking about the cost of airing a commercial. So this 110 is going to be something per commercial, and this 900 is going to be some type of one-time amount. So which statement is true? The commercial costs $0 to produce and 110 per airing, up to 900. Well, the 110 per airing I agree with, but the commercial costs $0 to produce? No. There's a one-time fee of 900. It would make sense that that would represent the cost it would make to actually make the commercial. The commercial costs 110 to produce and 900 each time. 900 each? No, 900 is not my each. 110 is my each. The commercial costs $900 to produce. That makes sense. My one-time fee is 900 and 110 each time it is aired. The 110 is the each or the per, yes. The 900 is a one-time amount. That one looks good. The commercial costs $1,010 to produce. It can air an unlimited amount of times. That doesn't represent the situation at all. Choice 3 is your answer. What's in front of the variable is your per or each. What comes at the end is your one-time amount. Why don't you try number 2 on your own? I'll give you 30, 45 seconds. Okay. A cell phone company charges $60 a month. The cost of additional data is 5 cents per megabyte. So per x plus the one-time fee. My per is 0.05. My one-time amount, I'm paying $60 for the month, and then 5 cents per additional megabyte. In this case, it wants D to be the variable, so it's 0.05D plus 60. It can be out of order as long as the 0.05 is in front of the variable, and that's it. Why don't we try number 7? It's kind of, say this is a good SAT question. It's a Regents question, but it's very similar to how an SAT question would be phrased. I want you to try it on your own. We'll go over it in a minute or so. Again, try number 7 on your own. Okay. Each day, a local dog shelter spends an average of $2.40 on food per dog. The manager estimates the shelter's daily expenses, assuming there's at least one dog in the shelter, using this function. Which statement regarding the function are correct? So, the first thing is X represents the number of dogs, X represents the number of volunteers. Well, what's the per? It's $2.40 per dog. So that means that the variable is dogs. So this one looks good, this one doesn't. Again, the per, the variable represents whatever the per is. If it's per dog, then the variable represents the dog. 30 represents the shelter's total expenses per day. 30 represents the shelter's non-food expenses per day. So this is where it's a little tricky. 240x, that's how much they're spending on the food. So 30 is separate from that. So 30 represents the shelter's non-food expenses. The total expenses is E of X. So 1 and 4 would be the answer. All right, this is a good question. It really makes sure you understand the concepts here, and that's it. This is all pretty much the same. 10's a little tricky. Why don't you try 10 on your own? I'll give you about a minute. Okay. I have D equals 280 minus 59t. It's asking what the 59 represents. Well, the 59 is in front of the variable, so that's got to be your per or each. Now, what does t represent? T represents hours. So it's 59 per hour. Now, I don't see per in any of the choices. I don't see each in any of the choices. Which of these choices represents per or each? Is the distance from Albany a per or each? No. Is the speed of the car a per or each? Yes, the speed of the car is miles per hour. The distance between Buffalo and Albany is not a per or an each, and the number of hours driving is not a per or an each. Per or each is a rate, speed is a rate. That would be your answer. So I thought that question was a little tricky because, you know, you're looking for per or each, but speed is per. Speed is each. All right, we'll take a look at a word problem now, non-multiple choice, and we'll go from there. So now we're going to have to set it up. A gardener is planting 2 types of trees. Algebraically determine how many years it will take for these trees to be the same height. So let's make an equation for a of x, and let's make an equation for b of x. Since I see per, I know it's going to be per x plus the one-time fee. So for A, it's 15 per. So it's 15x, and the one-time starting amount is 36. For B of x, it's 10 per, so it's 10x plus 48. Now that I have that, it wants to know when they're going to be the same. Well, same means equal. So I'm going to set the height of the first type equal to the height of the second type. From here I do the algebra. Bring all x to one side. Isolate, add or subtract first, divide last, and I get 2.4. So again, keyword per or each. When I see per or each, per x plus the one-time fee, set up your model. And then once you have those expressions, if it ever says the same, you're setting them equal. Skip that one. Let's take a look at 13. Ian is borrowing $1,000 from his parents to buy a notebook computer. He plans to pay them back at the rate of $60 per month. Ken is borrowing $600 from his parents to purchase a snowboard. He plans to pay his parents back at the rate of $20 per month. Write an equation that can be used to determine after how many months the boys will owe the same amount. Well, if we're writing equations to represent how much is being owed, I'll call it I of x for Ian and k of x for Ken. So let's start with Ian. He's paying them back at $60 per month. So is the amount he owes them increasing or decreasing? If he's paying them back, then the amount he owes is decreasing. So it's going to be negative 60x plus 1,000. Same thing for Ken. If he's paying them back at $20 per month, then the amount he owes is decreasing by 20. So your per each could be minus. If it's getting smaller, then it's a negative rate. And if it's getting bigger, then it's a positive rate. Write an equation that can be used to determine after how many months the boys will owe the same amount. So again, same means equal. So I set them equal to each other. That's supposed to be 600. I don't know if you can hear, but my infant is making some interesting noises upstairs. She's going, ugh! Oh, that was a good one. I think she needs to go to the bathroom. I finish my algebra. I get x equals 10. So write an equation that could be used to determine how many months. Here's my equation. Then it says determine algebraically and state in how many months the two boys will owe the same amount, 10. And then it says state the amount that they will owe at this time. So the amount that they owe is I of x or k of x. Since it's going to be the same amount, it doesn't matter which one. I'll do I of x. So I'm doing I of 10 equals negative 60 times 10 plus 1,000. That's negative 600 plus 1,000. That's 400. So after 10 months, they're going to both owe 400. And that's pretty much it. There's a couple more examples here for you to practice. Very common Algebra 1 question, very common SAT question. And yeah, I know we're doing a lot of lessons here. There's a lot of common SAT questions, which is why it takes a really long time to prep for all this stuff for the SAT. It's a lot of stuff. We're barely scratching the surface here. So if you are serious about, prepping for that SAT, I can give you my full packet. You can practice, but there's definitely a lot of material on it. So I'm giving you 2 days to this, actually. So your classwork / homework for Monday and Tuesday is to finish worksheet, and your quiz will be due Wednesday night. There's just one more lesson that we're going to do after this. Then we're going to review and test. And then any time we have after that will be used for you to make up whatever you might know. Come on, stop dancing. You might be saying, Mr. Schlantz, you should never say stop dancing. So, classwork, I can't find anything. Classwork / homework for Monday and Tuesday is to finish your worksheet. And your quiz is going to be due on Wednesday night. Reach out to me or Ramon if you have any questions or issues or need anything. And I hope everybody has a great day.